Hello, hello. Good evening. It is a Wednesday night at 9:40 p.m. and this is the Burning River Browns Talk. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. We are on the Fanatical Elves Network, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. I am your host, Lou Marconi, at lmarconi251 on Instagram, at lmarconi1973 on X. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. A lot of great content on Fanatical Elves, a lot of great people giving Browns content. So tonight, last night I talked about Marty Schottenheimer, and tonight I'm going to talk about Bill Belichick. Now, a lot more people, a lot more of the younger viewers, the younger people will know more about Bill Belichick as the New England Patriots head coach. But before that, he was the Cleveland Browns head coach from 1991 through 95. Yep. And I'll kind of go through all that and kind of explain the legacy of him. We're not going to talk about the stupid stuff with him now, the fact that he's dating a girl that's like 48 years younger than him. I'm not even going to go there. It's that's tabloid stuff. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to talk about, I wrote an article about it, and I'm going to talk about what possibly made him the coach that he became was one season in Cleveland and what he went through and what he learned from it. And it's a lesson I think that all of us can learn, that we could take from. But before I go any further, I need to pause for a moment for a word from our sponsors. All right, we're back. Thank you for hanging in there. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Always appreciate you guys. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, Bill Belichick, I believe, was only 38 years old when he became the NFL head coach. Became an NFL head coach, and he became the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. That was the 1991 season. He came in after the Browns had more than, they call it the season in hell, the season from hell, which was the 3-13 god awful season. Right after the Browns made an AFC Championship game appearance in the 1989 season and won the division, they went 3-13 the next year. It was an absolute collapse, complete breakdown, and Art Modell considered it a rebuild year, which it was more of a collapsing year. 91 on became rebuild years, and Bill Belichick came in to start to build from the ground up. He was given a 5-year contract. He was a young head coach. He brought in a young defensive coordinator by the name of Nick Saban. We all know what he became. Went on to become a legend in Alabama as a head coach, and he's actually won national championships. He won. I know he won when he was at Michigan State, but he won a national championship at LSU too. And he didn't have the NFL success that Belichick had, but he had the college football success. So going on from there, he got us to the playoffs in '94 as a wild card team. We struggled against the Steelers that year. The Steelers were just better than us. Oh, Posh, hi, thank you. There you go. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So that year, in the '94 year, we lost the divisional playoff game because we beat the Patriots in the wild card game that year, but we lost to the Steelers in the divisional playoffs. Going into '95, there was a lot of optimism with the Browns because we made a lot of good moves. We had a good team. We knew we had a good team. Um, it was tenuous at best because what was going on behind the scenes was Art Modell was planning on relocating the team to Baltimore. Belichick knew about it long before it was announced. The team knew they were doing it long before it was announced. And it leaked. It leaked 2 days. It leaked on the Saturday before it was formally announced on a Monday, which I believe it was November 4th, 1995. That was announced that the team was moving to Baltimore. The next day, we were voting on an extension of the syntax to refurbish and remodel Cleveland Municipal Stadium, which really what they had to do was tear it down and build a whole new stadium. Really, they had to. That the building, it was 60 years old. It was time. A whole new stadium needed to be built. Anyway, without any further ado or anything else, what was going on was Art Modell announced in the middle of the season. That's never happened in sports. It was unprecedented. I don't think it's happened since then that a move was announced during the season. So the team was tied for first place with a 4-4 record with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the division. They went on to finish the season 5-11. They only won one game. Art Modell disappeared. He was in Baltimore. Belichick had nobody to go to. He tried to look up if this ever happened before, as any other sports franchise had to go through something like this. He couldn't find it. He had to figure it out on his own. And how could you coach? How could you put a team get a team go, field a team with such a distraction looming? They only won one game. They won the final home game against the Bengals. I don't know the exact score. It was in 1995. It was disappointing. It was just horrible. It was heartbreaking. In February 1996, Bill Belichick was formally fired as the coach of the team. That was shortly after the move was approved. Art Modell was allowed to leave and be let out of the lease of the city if he left the team name, the team history, and the team colors in Cleveland. We let him go. He started fresh in Baltimore and started the Baltimore Ravens. That's how the Ravens came about. What happened too was the league had to get involved because Art Modell could not afford to continue doing what he was doing, but at the same time, he was stuck in the lease with the city. Kroenke did the same thing, poisoned the product to make the move easier. What do you mean by Kroenke? I don't know what that means. Could you explain a little bit further, Posh? Thank you. There must be a move with another team or something else. And he was a mediocre coach on purpose. Oh, okay. Okay. So, anyway, Belichick as a coach grew in that. Oh, Rams. Okay. Got it. Rams in St. Louis. Gotcha. Okay. Rams in St. Louis. Yeah, they went back to LA. Gotcha. Okay. So anyway, back to it. Belichick was the coach of the team until February '96, and technically he wasn't Coach Fisher. Gotcha. Technically, he wasn't Cleveland's coach. He was Baltimore's coach when he was fired. So Cleveland didn't fire him. Baltimore did. Art Modell fired him after putting him through that, which was pretty low and sad. I guess he wanted to start fresh. Um, Bill Belichick eventually got another chance to be a head coach in New England 4 years later. His first draft with the 199th pick, he took a chance on Tom Brady. The rest is history. So I'm not going to go into that. But Belichick always said what he went through in that 95 season in Cleveland and what he learned and how he grew from that experience made him the coach he was. Interestingly enough, made him the coach he was. Sometimes you go through difficult things, which is life. We all do. But maybe it's an opportunity to learn and grow instead of just being a victim of circumstances. That was my point. The legacy of Bill Belichick is going to be known as a New England coach, but he really he 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 did an okay job in Cleveland. He did start producing a winner, and who knows what could have happened if he had a better owner and better circumstances. I was going to say one more thing about that was while Belichick was here, he was not liked by the media, the Cleveland media, because he didn't win a lot. He had one winning season, but the other seasons were first season he went 6-10, the other two seasons he went 7-9, and then they went 11-5. They made the playoffs. and then they just went 5-11. It just collapsed at that point. But anyway, needless to say that he followed the Bill Parcells dealing with media, and he also followed the um, Bill Parcells coaching style too. But he evolved and he grew, and we all grow over time. We all change and everything, just like Coach Stefanski has now. And people think that Coach Stefanski doesn't give a lot. He talks. He's actually very nice and very congenial with other people. Who was a coach of the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl? That was Brian Billick. Brian Billick. He was a former offensive coordinator with the Vikings. Good question. And John Harbaugh was coached in 2012 when they won it. So okay, so back to it. My point being about Bill Belichick's legacy was if it wasn't for the '95 season and what he went through, he probably wouldn't have been as good of a coach as he became because it was such a unique situation, such a tough situation, and he had a high enough character to learn from it. Look at us as fans. Look at everything we've been through. What did we learn? So, little programming note, I will not be on the air tomorrow night. There's a presidential debate. I'm not going to disrupt that, so I'm going to let the presidential debate happen. But I will be on the Fanatical Elf show at 8 o'clock, and I will be back Friday night here at 9 o'clock with Sherry from the Squad Pod and NEO Insiders, and from My Dogs podcast. I'll have Thorell on too. So I'm looking forward to Friday's show. I will see you Friday night, and I want each and every one of you to always remember when the river burns, it burns brown and orange. Thank you, Posh, for emailing. Thank you. Have a great night. I meant commenting. Thank you for commenting.